Karen McMillan had always felt a sense of security within the immaculate walls of her suburban home. From her window, she observed the world in all its predictable, controlled, and familiar glory. However, everything shifted the day Derek Foster moved in next door. His skin, darker than anyone else's on Maplewood Lane, sent an inexplicable wave of fear coursing through her. She dismissed it as a protective instinct for her neighborhood, but deep down, Karen recognized it was a long-held prejudice surfacing, unchallenged and unacknowledged. As she picked up the phone to call the police, her hands shook with a misguided sense of righteousness. Beneath that facade lay the unsettling reality she was unwilling to confront. What she failed to realize was that this call, intended to safeguard her illusion of control, would unravel everything she thought she understood about her life and herself. Derek wasn't just another neighbor she could dismiss. He was the catalyst that would shine a light on her hidden biases, revealing that the true threat lay not with him, but within her own unexamined prejudices. Karen often sat by her front window, her favorite lookout, monitoring the tranquil life in her cul-de-sac. Each morning, coffee in hand, she would peer through her floral curtains, keeping watch over Maplewood Lane. Today, however, a moving truck caught her attention, pulling up next to her home. The previous occupants had vacated weeks earlier, and her curiosity piqued as she wondered who would take their place. When a tall black man emerged from the truck, her stomach knotted. "Oh, great," she muttered. "What is this world coming to?" It wasn't long before the man's wife and 2 children joined him, appearing polite, yet still triggering a sense of unease within Karen. She observed them closely as they settled in, supervising the movers while their kids dashed in and out of the house. Days turned to weeks, and Karen continued her scrutiny of Derek and his family. Each morning, she noted his sharp suit as he left for work, and each evening, he returned home, calm and friendly. Naomi, his wife, often waved to neighbors, but Karen avoided eye contact, her distrust firmly rooted. As time passed, Derek's family integrated into the community, their children playing joyfully in the yard while Naomi jogged regularly. To Karen, the image of a well-adjusted family only intensified her discomfort. She began to share her suspicions with other neighbors, making small talk and mentioning Derek whenever she could. "I don't want to sound paranoid," she would whisper conspiratorially, "but have you noticed anything odd about our new neighbors?" The others dismissed her concerns, citing Derek and his family as polite, hard-working individuals who kept to themselves. One particularly sunny Saturday, Karen spotted Derek pacing in his driveway, phone in hand, speaking in hushed tones. To her, this looked suspicious. "What's he up to?" she thought. The thought of something illicit crossed her mind, and she convinced herself that she needed to act. Later that evening, at a neighborhood watch meeting, she brought up her concerns. "Has anyone else noticed anything strange about Derek?" she asked loudly, her voice shaking with urgency. "He's been acting secretive. I think he might be involved in something dangerous." Despite the skeptical looks she received, Karen's insistence grew. Over the following days, her paranoia peaked. She began recording Derek on her phone, but the footage revealed nothing more than a man living his life. Karen reached her boiling point when she saw Derek hosting a barbecue with friends. Alarmed by the sight of a group of black men together, she thought, "What are they plotting?" Without hesitation, she dialed 911. "Yes, I'd like to report a suspicious man in my neighborhood," she said, her voice trembling. "There's a gathering, and it seems out of place. They don't look like they belong." The dispatcher probed for details, and Karen, feeling emboldened, embellished her claims, implying that Derek might be armed and dangerous. After hanging up, adrenaline surged through her. She was sure the police would validate her fears. When 2 squad cars arrived at Derek's home, she watched eagerly from her window, anticipating something incriminating. Instead, Derek approached the officers calmly, asking, "Can I help you?" "We received a report about suspicious activity in the area," an officer explained. "Do you mind if we ask a few questions?" Derek nodded, unfazed, and went inside. When he returned, he wasn't holding a weapon. He revealed a badge. "I'm Chief Derek Foster, FBI," he stated, handing it to the officers. Their demeanor shifted instantly, respect replacing the tension. "We apologize for the disturbance, sir," one officer said, backing away. Derek glanced toward Karen's window, his expression revealing he understood the source of the report. The next morning, whispers of the incident circulated throughout the neighborhood. Karen's reputation plummeted as the realization spread that Derek was not a threat but a respected law enforcement officer. The narrative of racist Karens became the talk of the town, and guilt weighed heavily on her. Initially, she tried to act as if nothing had happened, but the shame became unbearable. The neighbors who once greeted her now avoided her, and even the police issued a warning about filing false reports. As time went on, Karen grappled with the reality of her actions. She had become the embodiment of the very stereotype she despised. One afternoon, a knock at her door revealed Derek standing there. She hesitated, but knew avoidance was no longer an option. "Hello, Karen," he said, his voice calm yet firm. "I wanted to clear the air." Karen's heart raced as she listened. "I know you called the police on me," he continued. "This happens to people like me every day, and it could have ended much worse." Her cheeks burned with shame. "I'm so sorry," she stammered. "I just didn't realize." "That's the problem," Derek replied. "You didn't take the time to understand." With that, he turned and walked away, leaving Karen to confront the weight of her guilt. From that day forward, Karen made a concerted effort to change. She began attending community meetings focused on racial bias and reflecting on her own prejudices. It was a difficult journey, but one she needed to take. Meanwhile, Derek continued his work, knowing that his calm response had transformed a potential disaster into a vital learning experience for Karen and perhaps the entire neighborhood.